That's bad.
What is going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a good day. It is freaking hot here today, and next week's even going to be hotter, so that's not too great. But today we're working on the Skylark a little bit. What did I do in the last video? Oh, last video was a turbo kit for the Monty. That's right. Today we're taking care of some of the more... See, that's why I did a cheap paint job. Just this thing's all scratched and chipped up, but it's a great driver quality paint job. So today we've got some little odds and ends things to do, because this weekend is a few Father's Day car shows that the kids really want to go to. So I figured I'd try and get this thing kind of together and see if we could take this, maybe the red truck, and might talk Pops into driving Jack around. We got one on Saturday, a local one here in my town. They block off the main street and everybody parks for like a half mile, 3/4 of a mile, like right in downtown. It's pretty chill. And then on Sunday, there's a pretty big one over in Charlton Park. I want to say it's like one of the 3 or 4 biggest one-day car shows in Michigan. I could be wrong though, but there's usually like 1,000+ cars there. It's not a cruise, it's an actual like car show, so pretty big one that we might go to. We go to that one every year, but I haven't taken anything there since I want to say my Beetle, my 68 Beetle, like, geez, I don't even know how long ago. I don't think I ever took my Galaxy there. Never took the Cutlass there. Yeah, I think the Beetle was the last thing I took there. So yeah, like I said, we got a few things to take care of on this, make it a little bit more driver friendly. I got to wire up the cooling fan, even though the radiator in this thing is pretty big and seems to do a great job. Like, this thing can sit and idle pretty much for like a half an hour without getting over 200 degrees. So I'm sure some airflow through it would help. Speaking of airflow, that wind is probably killing the microphone right now. I need to get my hood prop. Yeah, and then the F-150 here, I fixed the pinion angle. I put some adjustable camber bushings in the front, and not real happy with them. It still has like 2.5, 3.5 degrees of camber. I think that might just be the nature of drop springs instead of the drop beams. Is what is. Alright, so, oh, I forgot I had the dual fans on this. So I'm gonna wire those most likely through a relay. I got to wire up an exciter wire for this alternator. This is the DR44G. It's supposed to be self-exciting to 13.4 volts. For some reason this one isn't. Alternator, I don't know. But it seems to stay at about 12.1, 12.2 volts, and the battery hasn't gone dead yet. I haven't charged this thing in legit probably 3 or 4 months. So it's charging a little bit, but I'd like it to get to like 13.5, 14 volts. That'd be beneficial. And then I've got a vacuum canister for the brake booster. For those of you who are noticing, it does have a vacuum booster on it. I did try out that manual master cylinder. Wasn't super thrilled with how well it was working, so picked this up. And it turns out the cam has a little bit less vacuum than I thought. So I've got a vacuum canister off of that big block Mustang over here. I'll just make a bracket for and run the hoses too. Not the prettiest thing, but should work. The to-do list to get this thing hopefully car show ready, or at least cruise to the car show and back, is wire up the fans, vacuum canister, exciter wire for the alternator, and then I want to, if I have time, I'd like to cut like a half coil, 3/4 of a coil off the front to lower the front a little bit, because it's got some heavy no prep stance. And then I just want to nut and bolt check all of the brake components that we swapped on. Just make sure none of those are backing out or loose or anything like that. So that is kind of the agenda for today. Aside from that, everything should be good. The tune in it seems to be decent. I've just taken it up and down the driveway a handful of times, done a couple little burnouts here and there. Hopefully once I get all this taken care of, I can take it out, put some actual miles on it, and see how it's going to do. Yeah, let's just get this thing finished up. Alright, got the vacuum canister knocked out, and actually JB welded up part of the grill that was broken that I forgot to mention. So that should be hardened here. Actually, I think that is hardened. Let's risk it. Oh, way better. This thing used to shake like a motherfucker. Put it over a little bit here too. But yeah, vacuum canister, good spot for it. Should clear everything. Can still check the transmission fluid. Everything's looking good. Still off the front of the intake instead of the back. Not thrilled about that, but the routing seems to work out. I was about to move on to some other stuff, but the garage is packed, so I can't close the door. And it looks like it's about to start raining, so, you know, fuck me, I guess. I'm gonna roll the window up and I guess head inside for a little bit. Yeah, it's supposed to storm pretty good for, I think, like 3 hours. So I'm not really into getting all soggy out here. So we're gonna call it a night. I'll come back out here in the morning sometime. Alright, it is the next day. It is hot. Car's been sitting in the sun, but let's take the car down the road, because I don't think I've actually driven this car more than just up and down the driveway. Got the screen mounted, which reminds me I need to put the SD card in. Camera hasn't fallen yet. I just want to see if this thing's going to shift right. Well, and how close the tune is. I might try to accelerate and it could be rich as hell or lean as hell or who knows. I think I'm already in second. Brake pedal's not making contact with the switch right now, so it's not locking up the converter, which isn't a big deal. This guy to go. Stopping pretty good. Shifting way too slow. really bad. But it seems to stop. It stops. Not great, but it didn't really stomp on it either. Terrible, man. I've taken much worse first drives. Yeah, I think it was cruising pretty lean and it had way too much timing in it. That's what I think. That's what it felt like. Man, this thing sounds good. All right. That was probably one of the more successful first drives in quite a long time. Didn't overheat. Nothing felt super weird aside from just tuning issues. I don't know how well that mic could hear me at all. This car's kind of loud. But yeah, I think it was probably lean while cruising. The alignment was pretty off. I think the steering wheel was like pointed pretty far to the right. I don't know, considering it didn't even have any the radiator fans wired up yet. I think we got back and it was finally up to like 149, 150 as we were pulling in the driveway. Not too bad. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to turn the camera off because it's about to die, low battery, and I'm going to go cool off. So, good first drive. Alright, I just got the fans wired up using a negative ground trigger. Let's see if it works. It should turn on at 106 degrees. We're at 103 right now. 104. So any second. There they go. Perfect. Hell yeah. One more thing knocked off the to-do list. And then I just shut the car off. Whoa, look at that oil pressure. Yeah, that sensor's junk. Yeah, I wanted to see the fans turn off. I have complete faith that they work no problem. So we'll set this, because I have them both on one circuit. We'll set this 175. I'll turn off probably never. But 170. Alright, there we go. Alright. Heck yeah, man. I briefly looked over the data log and everything looked okay. The car's just slow because it's a relatively heavy car. With me in it, the way it is now, it's probably like 3,400 pounds. And it probably makes like 300 at the tire, probably less than that with the 4L80. But like realistically, this engine, it's a 5.3 with a sloppy stage 2 cam, a slightly above average intake, and a decent exhaust system. Shorty headers, 3.5-inch X pipe. That part's pretty good. Headers are, they're just basic eBay shorties. So like the engine's nothing crazy. It's just a healthy little 5.3. It probably makes like 375 horsepower at the crank. So I think at the tires we're like around 300 horsepower, 280 to 300. So So it's not really fair to expect a whole lot out of this thing. But yeah, I kind of think that the car is good enough to cruise around a bit. I want to pull the steering wheel off and reclock it, because like right here-ish was going straight down the road, and the tires, when I had the wheel straight, both the tires were pointing a little bit to the left. So I might just need to pull this wheel off and re-spline it. I'm so mad that I lost the fucking cap for this. It's either in this car somewhere or got swept into the trash at my dad's place. The biggest thing to me that's left is lower the front. Lower the front and put the overflow on it, and then just drive the friggin' hell out of this thing. God, I love this car. I have such a love-hate relationship with this car, if I'm being honest. Right now, I'm at like, I'm peaking. I'm peaking with this car. I'm sure something will happen this weekend that'll just make me, give me like $2,000 and get this thing the frig out of here. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today's video. Big old Rambletron. We did get to get the first drive with the Skylark, which is sick, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing, clicking that bell to get notifications. I'll see you guys next time.